Here we are, guys, in part 16 of this story. What if Naruto was being trained by Madara and Hashirama? Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. Naruto was looking around town for any sign of Sasuke, but in his heart he knew that he wouldn't find him, and just when he was about ready to give up, Kiba ran up to him. I just picked up Sasuke's scent heading east. Kiba shouted. Lead the way, Naruto said, jumping after his comrade. Sasuke and his team were leaping through the woods towards a small town, their chakra suppressed in order to hide it from Naruto. Damn it, Sasuke, we're never going to get anywhere at this rate. Can't we speed up even a little? Suigetsu asked Sasuke. No, you idiot, if we even flare our chakra for a second, Naruto will find us, and if that happens, the three of you are as good as dead. What about you? Karen asked. If he finds me, he might spare me, I don't know though. Are you sure, Sasuke-kun? Karen asked. He and I are a kin of sorts, so yes, I'm sure. Sasuke, a group of Konoha shinobi are headed this way. I think they're tracking us. But how? One of the birds told me that one of the shinobi with them is an Inuzuka. Yugo said. So they're tracking us by scent, not good. Sasuke said as he came to a halt. Karen-chan, you still got that shirt I was wearing when I was fighting Deidara? Karen flushed a deep red. Kind of reminds me of Hinata before she really got to know Naruto. Yeah, why? Yugo, have the animals take fragments of the shirt and have them scattered to the winds. Right. Sasuke took out his sword and sliced up his sword. You know what to do. Yes, Sasuke-sama. A large amount of bird flew in and took the pieces of the shirt and started flying in every direction possible. Kiba suddenly widened his eyes in shock. Kiba, what's wrong? Naruto asked. Sasuke's scent has just split into 80 different scents, but all of them his. Kiba responded. His chakra hasn't flared, so it's definitely not shadow clones or any form of clones, so he took something with his scent and torn it to pieces, but that still doesn't explain why it's scattered in 80 different directions. Naruto looked at Hinata. Place your hand on me and then activate your Byakugan. Naruto said, activating his Rinnegan, and a black rod inserted itself into Hinata's hand. Byakugan. Hinata shouted, and when her dojutsu activated, she gasped in shock. What is it, Hinata? Kiba asked, confused. My vision, I can see Konoha from here and everyone in it. What? Everyone minus Naruto shouted in shock. Can you see Sasuke? Hinata nodded in confirmation. So why has his scent scattered to the winds? Kiba asked. He's taken one of his shirts and sliced it into pieces, and now birds are carrying the fragments in different directions. Clever dick. Naruto cursed. Not only has Sasuke suppressed his chakra, but now he's scattered his scent, making it impossible to track him those ways, but now we can see him, and not only that, but I'm also detecting a high level of darkness coming from the east, and if you could confirm that is the direction of which Sasuke is, I would greatly appreciate him. He's there, Hinata said, smiling. Then we'll be using that darkness to follow them. Right? The squad jumped after Naruto. As I leapt behind Naruto and company, I felt a sensation native to my Hiraishin seal being agitated, since it wasn't from the kunai I administered, nor was from Mikoto. It had to be the one on both of the inside of Jiraiya's gauntlet, and judging from the way his chakra's acting, he's in trouble, as in, I'm about to die against a bigger, better opponent, and none of my jutsus are working on said opponent. Trouble. I needed to rescue him because one, like me, he's amongst the only family Naruto has, and I'm pretty certain Naruto would whoop my ass for not rescuing him. 2. Minato would most likely eviscerate me if I didn't help the man he revered as a father figure. 3. Tsunade would most likely be sending me flying across the village if she knew I could have saved him but didn't, and lastly 4. I may dislike him for his perverted antics, but I'll be damned to CJ if I didn't lift a finger to help. There was however the issue with the mission I'm on. I'll leave that in the hands of my shadow clones. I make the clone seal and make 10 clones to get the Uchiha brothers. 1. To scare Tobi and assist the 8-member team in keeping Tobi busy. 1. To commission the Jiraiya rescue mission and to essential convince Tsunade to prepare the ER for Jiraiya's arrival. 1. To give Kotetsu and Izumo a signal to listen for that Mikaru as a med evac is bringing Jiraiya fast. The remaining are for COM. 1 for the following: Mikoto, Tsunade. 1 for the squad and 1 for the original Mikaru, so he holds himself together to till his clone comes, and 1 outgoing for the 8-man team. As the 11 appeared, Mikaru whispered his orders into 1 and disperse 1 so that the rest would know the drill. Then the Mikaru scattered into 3 groups, 1 group of 3 Hiraishin to Jiraiya, Another group of 3 proceeded with the mission of getting the Uchiha brothers, the remaining went back to the Leaf Village. "Uncle, why have you made shadow clones?" Naruto asked, looking back at his uncle. "That pervert is in danger, so I sent a clone to go and assist him." Jiraiya was on the ground, his throat crushed as he knelt before the corpse of his old student, Yahiko, and 4 others. "Do you see now the power of a god, Jiraiya-sensei?" Yahiko asked. "Fukasaku-sama." Jiraiya croaked weakly. "I need you to get a message back to Konoha. Please leap off me, so I can carve your back." "But Jiraiya boy," Fukasaku said, "if I do that then you'll die and your sage mode will run out. If I don't, then Konoha, Naruto, and all those precious to me will die." "Alright Jiraiya boy, I'll do it." Fukasaku jumped off Jiraiya, who started carving a message into his back. "A code?" Yahiko thought as he and the others charged, intent on finishing off Jiraiya, and the stupid toad that accompanied him before the attack could connect Jiraiya. Finish the code. "Understood." Fukasaku vanished in a cloud of smoke. "Good, the message can now be received," Jiraiya thought, smiling. "Now if I die I can leave the rest to you, Naruto." Jiraiya closed his eyes as unconsciousness took him, but then he remembered the Hiraition mark in his gauntlet and channeled what little chakra he had left and signaled Mikaru. Seconds later Mikaru appeared in a flash and Mikaru looked at Jiraiya's opponent. "Nagato." Mikaru thought, shocked. "Strong as I am I can't take him on and get Jiraiya out of here. I knew I should have sent the original, but I was foolish. No matter." Mikaru grabbed Jiraiya. "You and I are having a talk later, you old pervert." Then he and Jiraiya vanished in a flash of light. "Who was that?" Pain said to himself as he and his paths. "The Kyuubi's uncle." Conan's voice said, landing next to Pain. "He matches the description that Haiden and Kakuzu gave us. So he marked Jiraiya's sensei and used it to get him out of here. Interesting. What do we do?" "I'll tell you what." A new voice echoed around them and Toby swirled into existence. "You two are going after the Kyuubi Jinchuriki, but there is something I need to take care of first, namely Sasuke Uchiha. There is still a dark future for him." Toby swirled into his eyes again and vanished. Naruto and the others were jumping along following a darkness when suddenly Naruto felt a huge dark presence swirl into existence. When Naruto saw who it was, his face contorted into a look of pure rage. "Hello," Toby said in a childish voice. Then he saw Naruto's look of fury. "Good, he's angry. That means it will make him more vulnerable to my attacks." Toby thought, a smile tugging at his lips. "Naruto, compose yourself," Madara roared in Naruto's head. "If you are angry then you can't think clearly, and in a fight at this level that mistake could cost you your life." "You are right, my apologizes Madara-sensei." Naruto took a deep breath and calmed himself. Oh, he composed himself. Guess he realized what getting angry would mean. Oh well, Toby thought. Suddenly a blast wave of chakra destroyed the area as it emanated from Naruto. Toby started sweating like crazy as Naruto gave him a look of cold fury. Oh boy, this is different than before. He has fury written all over him, but now it's something much more power. What the hell is he? Not even Madara-sama had this much chakra. This is on a whole other level. Why the hell is going on? Uchiha Obito, today. Naruto activated his Rinnegan. Today you die. That's the Rinnegan. Oh boy, Naruto is going to unleash that. Hashirama and Madara thought, sweating. Naruto then placed his hands over his heart and an advanced sealing network spread over all of Naruto's body. Naruto, don't do it, Kurama roared. Silence, Fox King, Naruto said coldly. Oh boy, I really don't want to be Obito right now. Kurama cowered back into his cage. I am about to show you what happens when you anger a god. Naruto formed a half-tiger seal. Did you really think that someone with my power could be so weak? What? Toby was really sweating now. Naruto started smiling sickly. He held out a finger and flicked the air. An invisible pressure slammed into Toby's chest and he coughed up blood underneath his mask. And that was yours truly at only 20%. 20%? I'm pretty sure he just ruptured 2 internal organs with that attack. What the hell is he? I have a question for you, Toby. Toby is a good boy. What's your question? Do you want to dance? By the way, don't hold back or you will die. Very well. Toby's posture changed and he revealed his Sharingan. I won't hold back against you. Tobi and Naruto attacked one another. Obito had a hard time fighting Naruto. After 10 minutes of clashing, Tobi jumped back and stated, weaving hand signs, and his eye swirled. Fire style. Bomb blast dance. Obito spat out a fireball in his Kamui to unleash a fire death spiral at Naruto. Naruto held out his hand with a bored expression of boredom. Petra Path. Naruto absorbed the power of Obito's power. So you wield the Rinnegan, but you don't know its power as well as you think as you do. Oh, but I very much do. Naruto gripped his gunbai and swung his weapon and unleashed huge blast of wind, obliterating the forest around him. Obito looked behind him with shock and horror. 23. What? Obito turned back confused. That was 23% of my power. I thought I should inform you that the seal I wear restricts 90% of my maximum chakra. This is your final warning. The longer this battle takes, the stronger I will become. Naruto smiled grimly and then held out his hand, forming a Rasengan, and channeled all the elemental chakras into the Rasengan. This is bad. Obito's eye widened. If I'm hit by that, I'm as good as dead. Naruto charged Obito, who smiled and allowed that attack to slip right through the attack, but Naruto smiled and disappeared. Then he reappeared right in front of Obito. Creator's Slate Rasengan. Naruto slammed the Rasengan into Obito. Die in the name of my parents. Obito was blasted away and the chakra exploded and a tower of spiraling elements rocketed into the sky. Naruto watched as Obito decayed from his power. Obito struggled to weave a set of powerful hand signs. Rabbit Boar Ram. Izanagi. Obito sacrificed his left eye and reappeared in front of Naruto, still bleeding, as Izanagi couldn't save him from all the damage. To think that the Yellow Flash and his successor would trick me with the same. I look forward to fighting with you on the final battlefield when I come for the Kyuubi within you. Obito wiped his hand over his face as he disappeared into his pocket dimension. Ho, ly, crap. Madara said as he watched Naruto unleashed his power. What are you at now? I'd say roughly 30%, Naruto shrugged. 30%, and you annihilated half that forest and nearly killed Obito without even breaking a sweat. Just what the hell have we created? Hashirama asked his old friend. Naruto turned to the others. Well, we have a certain teammate of mine to rescue. Naruto and the others leapt farther into the forest. Obito appeared in a swirl as he took off his mask and ripped out his eye and replaced it with one of the eyes he acquired from the Uchiha clan massacre. What was that jutsu? Obito asked. Creator's Slate Rasengan. What was that technique? It looked like all the elemental affinities, but not even Minato-sensei could do that, and he invented the fucking technique. Why couldn't I dodge that? Why could I beat him? Just how powerful is that Kyuubi brat, and why am I talking to myself? You're not talking to yourself, Obito. Zetsu's voice came from behind Obito and he spun around and saw Zetsu standing behind him. Oh Zetsu, when did you get here? Obito said, shocked. Been here the whole time. What do you want, a fucking medal? Obito glowered. Well, aren't you in chipper mood today? Black Zetsu said. Fuck off. Obito walked to his room, replacing his mask. Sasuke and his team were leaping through the woods when they landed in a small clearing with some buildings, when suddenly a large blast of chakra towered into the sky and Sasuke instantly recognized the chakra as Naruto's. I wonder who the poor soul is that pissed off Naruto, Sasuke said, laughing. Just then Karen's eyes widened in shock. Sasuke, we've got a large chakra signature ahead of us. He's got so much chakra, I'd say it was about at the level of the Nibi, Karen said, looking at Sasuke scared. As Hibi entered the next clearing, they saw Kisame Hashigaki standing in their path. Kisame Hashigaki, the tailless-tailed beast. Sorry, but no one but Sasuke is to advance past this point, Kisame said, laughing. Don't listen to him, Sasuke, let's just take him down and move on, Suigetsu said, drawing Kubikuribocho and glaring at Kisame. I have no intention or interest in fighting the rest of you, but if you insist on going with him I will show no mercy. Karen, Suigetsu, Yugo, you three need to stay put. This vendetta is mine alone. Sasuke jumped past Kisame, who didn't bother stopping him. As I sit in my clan's old hideout, I can't help but think back to a simpler time where my only worries were my umbu duties to Lord Third, and to my little brother who's coming to kill me, and subsequently worries for my clan where I was forced to kill them in order to prevent them from throwing the village into a civil war. Yeah, I can still see the memories of my brother attempting my shuriken jutsu trick to nail 8 targets in one swoop only to fail. Pretty epic in the sense of twisting his ankle, and the trip home where I had to carry him. Sasuke was pretty stoked about joining the academy, because after that point Sasuke would be on his way to be an ace ninja very much like myself. But those days were coming to an end because I was being pressured to make a decision. What with my father's coup d'état closing in on its 0 hour, and with my father getting on my case to be his eyes and ears inside the high-up, and my clan was on my case about Shursui and were accusing me of killing him. It was a simple task to beat them into the ground, and tossing in a little anger for my clan was child's play since I bore no love for the arrogance as well as ignorance that I had to live with every day. My father and those Uchiha who were calling me arrogant were lucky, because had Sasuke not called out to me I really would have lost more than just my temper. I eventually decided it was time to end the coup before it begins. I went house by house employing the silent kill technique in addition to the traditional methods of assassination, saving my parents for last. But when I was about to enter the room I realized something. If I killed both mother and father, Sasuke would be without a sheath to give him reason to restrain himself, and Uchiha clan would die out. But something Drago had said to me that even though he's the only one of his clan, he'd start his clan over anew using a couple old rules to create a foundation, then gradually altering the clan rules to meet with any change. That was when I felt that was what the Uchiha clan needed, a chance to start anew, and Drago's crush on my mother was just the stay of execution I needed. After father and mother said their last words I ran father through, nailed mother in the back of the neck hard. Well Sasuke, answer me this. How much can you see with those eyes of yours? Itachi said while sitting. How much is my business? What I see is you, dead at my feet, Sasuke said with anger present in his calm tone. Me dead huh? Itachi said still sitting. He flashes to Sasuke's 4 o'clock. Well then let's see if you can make it happen. It started with a taijutsu. Itachi however had a kunai handy only to be blocked. The kunai was blocked again when Itachi went to stab Sasuke in the eye, but Sasuke's sword he got from Orochimaru blocked that, but it was rendered useless to Itachi's taijutsu. When he managed to grapple him he managed to knock the sword from his hand. Sasuke however came right back with a chidori, a jutsu Itachi had not only seen before from Kakashi as well as him, but things had changed since then. And Sasuke charged in and ran his chidori through the ground via chidori stream. This forced Itachi to jump, only to the knowledge that jumping was what Sasuke wanted him to do. Itachi eventually was stabbed. They ended up back on the ground. You're a lot stronger. Hope you enjoyed the little show I put on, because there's so much more to me than that, because the way I see it, we've only just begun. Sasuke said while turning to Itachi on the chair. As he did, the stabbed Itachi broke apart into crows. Still using the same tricks Itachi, because you're right, I am stronger. I figure this won't be the last thing you'll say, but I'll hear you say it again. Let's try this again, Sasuke says while another behind the chair running Itachi clean through chair and all. He gasps a blood to the sight of white snake substitution. Seems Nin Little and Taijutsu weren't the only tricks you learned, genjutsu and tactics as well. You stated something about other Mangekyo user outside yourself, and I'm certain you've seen Naruto's, which leads me to my question. Who are the others? Because I highly doubt you could have slaughtered the Leaf Police Force alone. Sasuke thrust his blade deeper into Itachi. Names or the pain in your chest will never end. My co-conspirator went by the name Madara Uchiha, but I have my doubts that is his true name. There are however 2 confirmed Uchiha who bears the Mangekyo. I believe you know of Madara Uchiha as in co-founder of the Leaf Village Madara. Itachi said while both he and Sasuke were flashing on the image of his statue, while Sasuke was subsequently flashing on Naruto. Madara Izuna Uchiha, Madara's brother, and the mystery Uchiha you saw but couldn't name. Said Sasuke, yes. Normally I'd be like, are you insane, or have you been hit in the head? Sasuke said while Itachi was remembering the headshots he took from Naruto. But thanks to Naruto nothing surprises me anymore. A good sign of maturity is grasping reality as it is, Itachi said with the tiniest smirk, even though others would consider the concept of Madara being alive an illusion or make arbitrary assumptions. After all, people live in their fantasies. A good and accurate example for you was assuming I as the kind older brother to you. Though Sasuke didn't want to admit it, aspects of what he said was true. You speak truly. There were times I felt that night was only some sick twisted genjutsu, but the reality was it wasn't a genjutsu. Sasuke said, deploying his Chidori sharp spear, impaling the chair Itachi was sitting in, missing him by a centimeter. How about we cut out the genjutsu, since it's clear this battle won't be settled with just genjutsu. Such confidence in your words, and I agree, but Sasuke, I thought you'd come to kill me with eyes similar to mine. Itachi said to a chuckling Sasuke. Naruto already took care of that, and saved the tutorial because I've heard it from Naruto. Saves me a lot of talking, but I figure I say Madara's the pioneer of the Mangekyo who also found out a way around the blindness cost of the Mangekyo eyes. Transplant them from another. Right, Itachi said. And that's part of the reason why you spared me, because from my corpse you'd take my eyes and transplant them into you. You know me too well. They lunged for each other. Sasuke is stopped by Itachi and movements were locked, and what was to come was another shadow clone armed with 3 kunai. Moving wouldn't work, so the called on some of Orochimaru's power, and from the seal on Sasuke's neck burst forth a white snake who used its body to repel the kunai. Then came the demon wind shuriken with Chidori combo, breaking a kunai of Itachi only for it to hit a shadow clone. Itachi had made a couple attempts to take Sasuke's eyes, only to find that his attempts were a part of a genjutsu which Sasuke had broken out of. Okay, that was a little much for Sasuke said to himself, a touch winded from the genjutsu. No matter how much you use them, eye of yours, thanks to my hatred, fantasy will become reality. Funny, I was about to say the same thing to you, compliments of the Tsukuyomi you had broken. Itachi said. They started again, only this time was a straight-up ninjutsu. Itachi started weaving signs to the sight of Sasuke, popping out another demon shuriken, chucking it at him. He ducks to the sight of the shadow shuriken jutsu, a second demon wind shuriken. He sees Sasuke running his Chidori through it, so he leaps in between the two only to discover wires had rigged it to break apart. It was successfully injure Itachi. Then came the fire style. Sasuke launches the grand fireball jutsu. Itachi jumps only for Sasuke to follow suit with a Chidori, only to miss and blow a small hole in the roof. Itachi comes back with a fireball of his own only for it to hit Sasuke's wing from state 2. Then came the fire fight with the clash of fireballs, only for Sasuke's to be overwhelmed with Itachi's Amaterasu, followed by a Amaterasu shooting gallery with Sasuke as a target. When Itachi thought he hit him, when he only pulled an Orochimaru-style escape to negate the flames. Only a couple seconds after he launches fire styles into sealing all, General nick Itachi's cloak and some skin cells and fly into the sky. A thunderstorm could be heard gathering from overhead. Seems you've run out of chakra. True, I've used up a lot on that fire style, but I've enough necessary to end this, and I bore no illusion you'd go easy, so I had created a few aces in the holes just for you. Ace number 1, I knew you'd be able to dodge those fire styles jutsu, but who said you were my target? Sasuke said, pointing up at the sky. Itachi looks to the sight of the thunderstorm getting stronger. Ace number 2, Sasuke said, activating his Mangekyo much to Itachi's shock and amazement. Naruto knew I'd need this Mangekyo, so he used his Sharingan to assist in the awakening. How? Itachi asked. Have you heard of Izanagi? Sasuke asked Itachi, whose eyes widening in more shock. He said it on a time delay when he and I faced down the dark version of me, since by technicality dark me was the one who did it, ergo my Mangekyo was born. Sasuke said, better than my circumstance. Itachi flashing on the memory of Shursui giving him his last Sharingan before willingly throwing himself over. And lastly, ace number 3, Sasuke said as basic Susanoo skeleton with a sword and shield appeared. A brief pause occurs as Sasuke flashbacks to the empty feeling that his house had saved for his mother a couple weeks after the massacre. He breaks down crying in his mother's arms, missing the family that is now gone. Sasuke exits the flashback, leaping up to the highest point available. This jutsu is called Kirin, a lightning jutsu so powerful and so fast evade it is rendered useless. Sasuke raised his arms and his Susanoo followed suit. Come, said Sasuke as a chain made of lightning shot up into the thundercloud. About a second later a lightning dragon willingly came down attached to Sasuke's lightning chain. The lightning made its way onto Sasuke's Susanoo sword. Be gone with the thunderclap. He brought his arm down in a downward slash motion, his Susanoo. As though in an instant the dragon went up to go crashing down on Itachi. The blast pretty much reduced the top floor to rubble along with Sasuke's footing. He powers down the Susanoo to better accommodate the light blur in his vision. He sees a downed Itachi. Don't think for a second that you're the only one with a Susanoo, Itachi said as stood up with his Susanoo forming into a sword and shield warrior. Sasuke to say he was mad would be an understatement. I can give it you. Orochimaru's voice echoed in Sasuke's head. Not now, Sasuke roared back. I can give you all the power you could ask for. All I ask is that you release me. Sasuke barely had the chakra necessary to keep Orochimaru suppressed, and erupting from his left side was Orochimaru's 8 branches jutsu, the Hydra born from the 8 branches, and Itachi Susanoo rush each other. Orochimaru tries to overwhelm Itachi but to no avail. 7 of 8 were beheaded. Then out came Orochimaru, who regurgitated his sword. Now my chance is here, and thanks to you Sasuke's chakra is gone. Itachi said nothing as his Susanoo stabs him in the chest. Did you honestly think that would work? Oh, it looks like it worked to me, Itachi said as he smirked. Then Orochimaru found exactly what Itachi meant. It can't be the Totsuka blade, you had it the whole time. Orochimaru could do nothing against the Totsuka blade's sealing power. He and his 8 branches technique was sucked into the bottle in Itachi's Susanoo hand, effectively freeing Sasuke of both him and his curse. Mark, I still have enough chakra for one last attack run, Sasuke said, visibly exhausted but still enough energy. He powers up his Susanoo and he charges only for his sword to hit Itachi's Yata mirror. He tries breaking down his Susanoo to no avail. Sasuke's Susanoo fades due to lack of chakra to sustain it. He draws his regular sword only for it to hit the Yata mirror, flying out of his hands. With what little chakra reserves he has left, he goes for the other way as he locks eyes with Itachi. Tsukuyomi, Sasuke called out. Itachi was strapped to cross, his usual impassive look on his face. So you mastered Tsukuyomi as well, but don't think for a second I can't break it. Before you do, I have something to say to you. Oh, what might that be? Itachi said as the cross melted away. I know the truth. Sasuke smiled as Itachi looked shocked. Come give your precious Ototo a hug. The brothers embraced one another after a period of silence. How? Asked one very confused Itachi. You can thank Naruto and to a lesser extent the late Lord 3rd Hokage for my knowing the truth. Should have guessed, Itachi said in nothing surprises me anymore tone while breaking the Tsukuyomi. Farewell my Ototo, Itachi said as he fell into his little brother's grasp since he had lost a lot of strength and blood from his last battle. Farewell Ni-san, Sasuke said as tears started streaming down his face, though one couldn't tell from the rain that had started falling as he passed out exhausted. With Itachi's death, the black flames he cast started to spiral out of control. Naruto's eyes widened in shock as they leapt along. What's wrong, Naruto-kun? Hinata asked. Sasuke's and Itachi's chakras have vanished, but they were resonating from the same general area. I'd say their battle has concluded. Who won? Kakashi asked, dreading the worst. Sasuke won. Itachi's chakra faded first and Sasuke's faded a few seconds later. So then how do you know Sasuke won? Sasuke's chakra didn't fade like Itachi's did. Naruto looked towards where Madara's memories told him the old Uchiha hideout was located. Itachi's chakra faded abruptly while Sasuke's faded slowly, indicating he's collapsed from chakra exhaustion, while Itachi's was abruptly extinguished, indicating death. Naruto and I should go grab them. I'll take Sasuke to the medical corps while you take Itachi's body to Mikoto-chan, and I'll ask Tsunade to prep Sasuke for an ocular transplant. Mikaru said. Naruto looked at his uncle. I've got a lock on the Hiroshin kunai that I gave Sasuke and the mark I left on Itachi in case I ever need to fight him. Why didn't we warp to him right away? Hinata asked. Sasuke wouldn't want me to, this was something he needed to do alone, Naruto said. Then he turned to the others. The 7 of you should head back to the Leaf. Mikaru and I will finish the mission on our own. If you're sure, then we'll head back, but be careful, you know the 4 of us will miss you terribly if you don't come back, Rikudo-kun. Hinata kissed Naruto on the cheek, then the 7 of them departed. Mikaru looked at his nephew, who looked back at him. I think you should bring Itachi back to Mikoto-sama. She'll need a strong hand to be there for her when she hears her firstborn has fallen. You're right, I'll take Itachi to Mikoto. Give my best to Sasuke, Mikaru said. He and Naruto vanished in a flash of light and then they reappeared in front of Sasuke and Itachi. Naruto looked at his friend. You've done well Sasuke. Uchiha, you, like me, have taken on step closer to your final goal. Naruto grabbed Sasuke and slung him over his shoulder, and Mikaru did the same to Itachi. Then they flashed back to the village. Naruto rushed off towards the hospital, and after a minute Naruto opened the door and he saw Shizen standing there talking to the receptionist. Shizen-sama, Naruto called out, getting her attention. Shizen spun around and saw Sasuke slung over Naruto's back. Sasuke's suffering from chakra exhaustion, plus we need to get him ready for an ocular transplant with Itachi's eyes. Alright Naruto, I'll get a room ready for Sasuke-san, follow me. Shizune said. Then he and Shizune ran into one of the hospital rooms and Naruto placed Sasuke on one of the beds. I'll have medic ninja keep him under sedation until we transfer in Itachi's eyes, but right now his body is in no condition to accept a new pair of eyes. Right, I'll check back in a few days, Naruto said. Then he left and started walking towards the Uchiha compound. Naruto walked in and saw his uncle holding Mikoto, who was crying into his shoulder. I know it hurts, Mikoto-chan, but know that I will be there for you every step of the way, Mikuru said, hugging her. Then Mikoto saw Naruto and he smiled sadly at her. Naruto, can you bring Itachi back to me? Mikoto asked him. Unfortunately, I can't do that right now. Itachi needs to stay at the hospital for a few days for now, but I'll bring him back at a later time, so I'm going to place preservation seals on Itachi's so that way when the time comes I can bring him back, Naruto said sadly. I understand, Naruto, if you can bring him back later I will appreciate it, Mikoto said. As Sasuke laid in bed listening to the sound of the birds outside, his eyes were covered in bandages and it didn't take long for Sasuke to figure out what happened. Itachi's eyes had been transplanted into his skull. Suddenly his thoughts were interrupted. Hello Sasuke, said a voice initially unfamiliar to him. After a second Sasuke recognized it. Mikuru, what brings you here? Sasuke asked. Well, I wanted to talk to you, Mikuru said steadily, sitting down. What about? To ensure you're asking the valid question, now that your vengeance against Itachi is complete, what's next? Now that you ask, you're right, I'm not sure. Mikuru looks around. He seals the room from window to door, floor to ceiling. What I'm about to tell you is going to get me in a lot of hot water if I'm discovered, but I don't care anymore because Itachi was only the tool in the Uchiha massacre, and I'm going after the Grand Architect. The Grand Architect? You know him as Danzo Shimura. So when is our next move? For now you do nothing because you'll have your part to play as his executioner. For now you are to get stronger, Mikuru says as he places scrolls on Sasuke's bed, and devise stratagems against the jutsus found in that scroll. Thank you. Think nothing of it, Sasuke, as you probably figured out your mom and I are dating. I love her very much, and I want to do right by her, and being on your good side is part of my plan to do that. Just make sure you treat her right, cause if you don't my new eyes and you are getting very acquainted, Sasuke threatened. Alright. Mikuru started sweating as he heard from Naruto that Sasuke got Itachi's eyes and with it Itachi's prowess with Tsukuyomi. Danzo is biding his time to make a claim for the Hokage seat and currently views you an ant, but you Sasuke are so much more that when you become the mouse to shut him down, Mikuru said with a semi-Madara rape face, making a throat-slashing gesture with his thumb. You know I'm blind right now, right? Sasuke asked nonchalantly. Kill him. Oh. That makes sense, Sasuke said. What are you, blind and stupid? Shut up. Sasuke growled. Glad to see you and uncle are getting along. A new voice came and Sasuke got an old feeling in his gut, a feeling he hadn't felt in 3 years, a very pissed off Naruto. Hey Naruto, Sasuke said, sweating bullets. Care to explain to me why my cousin was seen purchasing condoms at a certain store owned by Jiraiya? At this point Sasuke was ready to shit himself. The last time Naruto was this angry was when, ironically, in this very room Sasuke had asked him what he knew about suffering. Preparation for later, Sasuke said, trying to bluff Naruto. Bullshit. Crap, he called my bluff, I'm so dead. This is funny, Naruto said to his friends. You're enjoying this? Hashirama said. Oh, immensely. You're just a sadistic bastard when you want to be, Naruto. Kurama smiled. I learned from the best. Thank you. I was talking about Madara. Fuck you. That's Kami-sama's job and not mine. I hate you. You know I'm messing with you, right, Sasuke? Naruto smiled. Why you were what? Sasuke shouted. I know full well that you and my cousin are getting close to restarting the Uchiha clan, but don't do so until much later. Naruto turned on his heel and walked out of the room. Damn you, Naruto, Sasuke shouted. Sasuke was in chains and chakra-suppressing seals were placed on Sasuke. Naruto Uzumaki, for the capture of Sasuke Uchiha, I want to congratulate you with a significant pay raise for a normal S-rank mission, Tsunade said. Then she got a blank look on her face. Do you remember that letter that I sent you about 8 months ago? Yeah, I've still got it here. Naruto channeled chakra into one of the hundreds of seals on his arm and pulled out the letter Tsunade sent back during the training trip. Dear Naruto, I'm sure you've been making excellent progress with your training and, as much as I hate to admit this, I'm not getting any younger. Call me old and I'll fucking kill you. Anyway, Danzo's root organization is getting more and more persistent. I can't prove anything since that bastard covers his tracks well, so I'm going to help you finish the first step in your dream. By the authority vested in me, I, Tsunade Senju Godame Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village, name you, Naruto Uzumaki, the Rikidame Hokage. Naruto looked back at Tsunade when he finished the letter and then his eyes widened. Why, you don't mean? That's right, Naruto, Tsunade said, smiling. By the authority vested in me by both my predecessor the Sandame Hokage and the Fire Daimyo ruler of the Land of Fire, Tsunade Senju the Godame Hokage, name you, Naruto Uzumaki, the Rikidame Hokage. Naruto was standing in the Hokage's office trying to fit an orange and black version of his father's cloak over his armor, and he placed the hat on his head. Nervous, Rikudo-kun? Yujito asked after he got the cloak on, and he started pacing around the office. Would you blame me if I said yes? Naruto asked. Not really. Ino responded, smiling. Why are you nervous, Rikudo-kun? Hinata asked. Well, I know that when I was younger I said I would become Hokage, but now that day is finally here. I don't know what to do. Naruto said. Come on, Naruto-kun, it'll be fine. Haku said. You're right, all of you are right, I shouldn't be this nervous. I need to step up and rise to the challenge or I'll never be able to face the man who killed my parents. Naruto walked up towards the top of the Hokage office where he saw Tsunade standing there looking at the gathered citizens of the Hidden Leaf. Citizens of Konoha, I, Tsunade Senju, stand before as Godame Hokage. For 3 years I have led this village as its Hokage. I know I have had a very short reign as the village leader, but one of the main reasons that I became Hokage was at the request of this village, but it was also at the request of the one person most of you treated like scum for most of his life. Most of the village knew instantly who she was talking about. Never once did he raise his hand against you in anything other than self-defense, and even how his resolve stands to protect you. I took the chair of Hokage to protect the village my grandfather and Uchiha Madara created. How the time has come for me to pass on this title to one who truly deserves it. For years I hid in my past and drowned my memories with sake and gambling, but Naruto drew me out of that past, and now it's time for him to lead the village into the future. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Naruto Uzumaki, the Rokidame Hokage. With that call, Naruto stepped forward, his power flowing around him, an aura of respect that it commanded. Naruto looked at the villagers gathered before him. I am Naruto Uzumaki, your Rokidame Hokage, but for many years I never dreamed that you would accept it, yet I hear no calls of protest, no threats, I even sense no malice in the air. I can see the pride etched on your faces. I truly understand what Hashirama-sama said all those years ago. People don't get acknowledged because they are Hokage, rather acknowledged people become Hokage. However, the true definition of Hokage is someone who will lay down their lives for his comrades and will struggle on until the very end to protect his home, and those who burn with the will of fire. Hashirama-sama said that long ago to his brother and then again to me. Now many of you may wonder why I know this, and the reason is this. At birth the primordial 3 sealed Shodame Hokage in me in an effort to help me control the power of the 9 tails within me, but I didn't use Shodame-sama's power to suppress or even control the 9 tails. I used it to defend this village I have sworn to defend. The village hidden in the leaves. This is my home. You are all precious to me in a way. Now I'll protect you all. As your Rokidame Hokage, the crowd let loose a huge cheer, and as one voice they started cheering out Rokidame. Rokidame. Naruto smiled, and then Hinata, Ino, Yujito, and Haku appeared next to him, and Naruto smiled. You've achieved your dream at long last, Naruto-kun. Haku said, hugging him. No, I haven't, not yet. I still need to bring peace to this world, then marry the 4 of you. Naruto whispered in her ear with a smile on his lips. Naruto was sitting in his office filling out paperwork, or more accurately having shadow clones fill out the paperwork while he double-checked the papers his clones signed, but utilizing his Rinnegan he saw what they saw to ensure no trickery. Just then there was a knock on the door. Enter, Naruto said, and then the door opened and Kakashi walked in and faced Naruto. Kakashi, what can I do you for? I was wondering if you and I could have a friendly spar for old time's sake. Well, things are a bit different now that I'm Hokage, but you know what, I could use a break from all this paperwork, but I must warn you, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto smiled. I'm not gonna hold back. Do you intend to fight with the Rinnegan? No, I don't. The Rinnegan is powerful, but it's just a tool, and a tool is something that doesn't define the user defines the tool. Naidame-sama was not defined by the Raijin no Ken, but he defined its power, and his affinity for water-style ninjutsu was what made that blade so dangerous, along with his affinity for spacetime ninjutsu. Naruto smiled, then he made a hand sign. Wood clone jutsu. Naruto created a wood clone and ordered it to keep working on paperwork and using the Rinnegan to keep the civilian council's stupidity. Follow me, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto and Kakashi shined to Training Ground 7, and Naruto turned to his old sensei. I'm ready, Naruto. Kakashi lifted his headband and revealed Obito's Sharingan. Naruto's eyes narrowed for a second at seeing one of the eyes that could have been used to kill his parents. Then let us dance, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto charged Kakashi, whose Sharingan could barely keep up with Naruto's movements, and Kakashi was hard-pressed to dodge them. Naruto hacked and slashed at Kakashi, who dodged time and time again. Then Naruto jumped back and smiled at Kakashi. Shinobi Battle Tactic No. 1, Taijutsu. Kakashi smiled. Then he Sharingan started spinning, casting a genjutsu on Naruto, but Naruto smiled and his chakra flared. Shinobi Battle Tactic No. 2, Genjutsu. Kakashi said. Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to work on you. No, it doesn't. Naruto smiled and started weaving hand signs. Shinobi Battle Tactic No. 3. Kakashi said as he weaved his own hand signs. Ninjutsu. Naruto shouted. Fire style, water style. Dragon flame, caterwall, water dragon jutsu. Naruto and Kakashi shouted simultaneously. Then Naruto exhaled 7 dragon heads and Kakashi fired several water dragons from the lake behind him. The attacks collided in a huge blast of steam. Kakashi watched the steam for signs of an attack from Naruto, who knew the attack would come, and he wasn't disappointed, but to his horror the attack wasn't fire-based or any of the 5 basic elemental transformation types, but wood-style. A flurry of wood-style ninjutsu. When the dust and steam cleared, Naruto had red markings around his face and toad-like eyes. Sage mode. He's really pulling out all the stops. Sage art, wood style, one with the forest. Naruto dashed forward at blinding speeds that even to the Sharingan he was nothing but a blur of speed. Kakashi threw a punch at Naruto thinking he was experienced tunnel vision, but not only did Naruto dodge, a tree rose up and grabbed Kakashi's fist and Naruto smirked. Kakashi channeled chakra into his fist for his lightning blade and broke free and charged Naruto, the lightning blade still coating his fist, and he jumped into the air and plunged the lightning-covered hand at Naruto, but to Kakashi's shock a small orchid of trees rose up and wrapped around Kakashi, pinning to where he was. How? Didn't you hear me? Naruto smiled. Sage art, wood style, one with the forest. This jutsu channels the natural energy around me and uses that power to grow a forest to defend me from any and all attacks that you can throw at me. Naruto smiled, then ordered the trees to retract. Naruto charged Kakashi. Kakashi jumped away from Naruto's attacks and weaved more hand signs. Fire style, Great Dragon Flame Jutsu. Kakashi shouted, exhaling a huge blast of fire. Naruto dodged and weaved his own hand signs. Sage art, wood style, Gate of the Great God. Naruto unleashed his chakra. A gigantic red gate fell on Kakashi, crushing him. Not bad, Naruto, Kakashi said, but then his Sharingan consumed a huge amount of chakra, and what happened next shocked Naruto. Kakashi slipped through this gate. Impossible, Naruto said. Why are you so surprised? He and Obito share an eye. If you didn't think this would happen, then you are an idiot, Kurama said, speaking to him for the first time in almost a week. Ni-sen, I was worried. What happened? Are you okay? I'm worried about Kami-chan. In case you haven't noticed, things are changing. Kamiken's power is growing more and more hectic. I fear the time is coming. What time, Kurama? Remember what happened just before the finals of the Chunin exams? Oh yeah, Kami-sama is pregnant. I fear the time for my kits to enter this world. Kurama, if you need to go see Kami-sama, don't let me stop you. There is a shift in the wind. I fear something bad will happen soon. I'll be fine, Kurama. I have to go see you in a few days, Kurama said. Then he faded from Naruto's mind to visit Kami. Naruto looked at Kakashi and held up his hand. Enough, Kakashi, I've seen enough. By your command, Hokage-sama. Kakashi, this new technique, I have seen it before and this is a new development and you and I need to talk in my office, follow me. Naruto turned on his heel and Kakashi followed him. When Kakashi walked into the room, Naruto spun around and closed the door and then he sat in his chair. Umbu, leave us, now. By your command, 4 voices responded and then the Umbu left the room. Naruto motioned for Kakashi to sit when Naruto's look hardened and in a blinding display of speed he grabbed the coat hanger, his eyes shifting to the Rinnegan. Petra Path. The coat hanger disappeared in poof of smoke revealing another Umbu, but this one had the kanji 4 root on his mask. Didn't I tell you to leave? But of course you don't listen to me. You obey only Danzo. Well, I have no room for traitors in my village. Human Path. Naruto ripped the soul out of the root agent and then he sat back down. Sorry about that, Kakashi. It's okay, Hokage-sama. What I'm about to say does not leave this room. Am I understood? Yes, Hokage-sama, Kakashi said in his trained tone from his years as an Umbu. Hokage-sama, I don't think I'll ever get used to calling Naruto that. Naruto started weaving hand signs and placed his hand on the desk and a bunch of seals spread around the room. For years I have known the identity of the man who caused the Kyuubi attack, but I kept it a secret from you and everyone because of what that man meant to you. When you demonstrated the ability you did, I determined that you are ready for the truth. The truth, Hokage-sama? Kakashi got a confused look on his face. The man who caused Kurama to attack this village and caused my father and mother to give their lives was none other than your former teammate, Obito Uchiha. Kakashi's world shattered in that instant. Every part of him wanted to scream at Naruto, to curse at him, to call him a liar, but he saw it in Naruto's eyes. He was telling the truth and he was sorry. I'm sorry you had to hear it this way, but it's better than Obito using your guilt against you, because the Obito you knew is gone, replaced with a monster that seeks only to destroy. He seeks to end this world and rule it like a god. Kakashi slumped down into the chair. All this time, Obito was alive. I know this is hard. Just then an explosion rocked the building and 3 Umbu burst in and formed a triangle around Naruto. Naruto formed the half-tiger hand sign and closed his eyes. Then they snapped open and Naruto's look turned cold. Nagato. Umbu, start the defense and spread the word. No1 is to engage this FOE. Focus and on getting the civilians to safety. By your command, Hokage-sama. The Umbu scattered to the winds and Naruto grabbed his gun by and dashed out, and he reached out with his chakra and the paths he created instantly responded. In a flash of smoke the 6 paths gathered around him. What is you command, Naruto-sama? Kimimaro asked. The 5 of you need to focus on getting the civilians to safety and battling anyone with the Akatsuki robes on. It seems that they've pulled out the big guns and sent pain after me and Yujito. Yes sir, the 5 paths responded and scattered in 5 separate directions. Naruto stood on top Tsunade's stone head. Naruto channeled chakra into his throat. Nagato, I know you can hear me. Naruto roared out. Your power is no match for mine, come out, coward. Naruto jumped down into ground and stood there and gathered sage energy. His eyes glowed and Naruto got red pigmentations around his eyes through to his ears and yellow irises. He also had a marking on his forehead that resembles an eye. Naruto expanded his senses to find where he was needed. Naruto dashed off toward to find a man who bore 6 piercings, a metal bar through each ear, 3 studs through the side of its upper nose, and 1 spike stud on each end of the bottom lip. It also had 3 piercings on each wrist, at least 1 on its upper wrist and some just under his neck. His face became also a little pale. On his right thumb, he wore a purplish-gray Akatsuki ring that bore the kanji 4-0. He also wore a necklace, which was somewhat similar to the one worn by the sage of the 6 paths. Found you 9 tails. Nagato. Naruto growled. Taiyuya landed in a broken-down alley, injured civilians and Shinobi standing there when she heard a voice ask, "Where is Naruto Uzumaki?" The man possessed the Rinnegan. He had no hair at all. It had a vertical ring piercing on its nose, 6 spike studs all around its head, 3 studs on the top and bottom of each of its 6 arms, an enormous cylindrical stud on its chin, and 2 vertical studs on each of its upper cheeks. He was holding Udon by the throat and it was clear that he wasn't talking. "Oi asshole," Taiyuya shouted, "put the gaki down." "And who are you?" He dropped Udon and he ran behind Taiyuya. "I am Taiyuya of the North Gate and I'm gonna kick your ass." Taiyuya blazed through hand signs, fire style, dragon flame bombs. Taiyuya exhaled a huge blazing stream of fire from her mouth. Pain dodged and Taiyuya tracked him with her head and the stream of fire followed him. Eventually she ran out of breath in her lungs and stopped the attack and Pain landed in front of her. Interesting, you know fire style ninjutsu. I know a lot more. Taiyuya charged him and the two engaged in an exchange of blows. Taiyuya easily dodged and countered Pain's blows. Eventually Taiyuya jumped into the air and leapt over Pain and kicked Pain and sent him flying forward. Pain skidded and flipped back and morphed his hand into a missile launcher and fired it at Taiyuya, who clapped her hands together. Summoning Jutsu, Rashomon. A contract sign appeared on the ground, and a red demonic gate appeared and intercepted the missile, and the explosion dented the wall, but it held strong, and after a few seconds the gate vanished and Taiyuya rushed forward and engaged in another taijutsu fight, and they both separated and Pain prepared to fire a laser blast, but Taiyuya weaved more hand signs, fire style, searing migraine. Taiyuya fired out a rocket of fire and blasted off the arm. Taiyuya ran in for the kill, drawing a kunai, but just before she could plunge the kunai into her foe, another hand grabbed Taiyuya's wrist and a sword pierced Taiyuya, but she substituted with a log and appeared above the path and pulled out her flute. Demon flute, chains of Fantasia. Taiyuya started playing on her flute and Pain froze and Taiyuya jumped down and weaved more hand signs. Fire style, dragon flame jutsu. Taiyuya exhaled a huge blast of fire and incinerated the Pain before her, thus killing her foe. Taiyuya looked around, slammed her palm on the ground. Summoning jutsu. Instantly the drill-beaked bird and the dog appeared. Taiyuya tapped it 20 times, separating it to 21 different dogs, and they shrank down, and using the summons she took the injured to the hospital. Kadamaru was helping fighting off the summons, which he recognized as animal path summons, and then he saw a man near a chunin of the village. The man's hand was on the chunin's head and he ripped out the screaming soul of the chunin. So he didn't know where Naruto Uzumaki is either. The Pain said, his long hair was orange and had multiple piercings, including a diagonal bar through its nose, 2 circular studs in a vertical row on each of its cheeks, 2 studs placed horizontally on its chin, and a stud on each of its shoulders and near its neck. The diagonal nose piercing makes him have asymmetrical facial piercings. Why are you looking for Naruto? Kadamaru asked. To capture the 9 tails within him, and if you intend to get in my way I'll have to kill you. Well, bring it on. Kadamaru dropped into his spider fist stance, forming swords in his hands from his sticky spider thread. Kadamaru charged in his sword swinging, and quickly Pain found himself at a serious disadvantage. It was all he could do to avoid Kadamaru's blows, and soon found himself wishing that he had the Ashura Path's abilities. As the fight continued, Kadamaru seemed to have the upper hand, but soon Kadamaru jumped back and formed a bow in his hand and prepared to fire it and destroy the Pain before him, when suddenly a huge paper shuriken came from nowhere and sliced Kadamaru in half. As Kadamaru's life faded away, his last thoughts were, "Forgive me, Naruto-sama. Good work, Konan, but if that path you just killed was anything to judge by, the 9 tails Jinchuriki is here." Pain said, "I agree." Konan responded, "We need to find him soon. The more time we take, the more time he has to plan a counter-strategy." Suddenly seals on Kadamaru's body started glowing and he burst into black flames, and in a few moments Kadamaru was ashes. That was a dead man's hand seal. Pain noted, "I see he wanted to prevent anyone who managed to defeat one of his paths from taking the Rinnegan from his body. A clever move. We must go, no time to dally." Pain. Of course, the two leapt off to find Naruto. Kimimaro was jumping while assisting the defense of the village when he saw 2 chunin being held by a man who had a spiky mop of orange hair. He had multiple body piercings, such as a circular stud on the bridge of his nose, a diagonal row of studs on each of his cheeks, 3 spike piercings in each of his ears, and a stud on each of his shoulders and near his neck. The man was holding Konohamaru by the neck and had slammed him against a wall. "Where is Naruto Uzumaki?" the Pain asked Konohamaru. Bite me. Konohamaru struggled out. "Then I will pass judgment." Larch dance. Kimimaro charged and his bones protruded from his body and sliced Nakara Pain to pieces. Kimimaro turned to Konohamaru and smiled. "Konohamaru, you need to help get the civilians to safety. Let me and the other paths focus on the enemy. This is an order from Naruto-sama." "Alright," Konohamaru said, and he ran off to help out the civilians. Jirobo landed in the next to Ibiki and several others fighting a small girl who was outfitted with chakra receivers, one above the nose, 2 on either side of the neck, a row of 3 vertically down each cheek, and 2 studs on each forearm. Her hair is orange and tied together in a sort of onion-like bun at the top of the head, with spikes of hair protruding out of it. "What's the situation?" Jirobo asked. "Sir, this enemy has us pinned down with summons." An umbu in a bird basque responded. "So more ants appear before a god," Animal Pain said, and she weaved more hand signs. Summoning jutsu. In a flash of smoke a gigantic rhinoceros appeared and charged, and Jirobo countered with hand signs of his own. Earth style, swamp of the underworld. A huge bog of mud appeared and sank the rhino. Fire style, dragon flame jutsu. A voice was heard from above. A huge flame blast cocked the rhino, and in a flash of glory an umbu with a hawk mask appeared. Hawk Taicho, the umbu cheered. "You threaten our homes." Hawk growled. "Kill our shinobi, and destroy our village. For this crime I will show you no mercy." In a flash of purple an ethereal warrior appeared. Inferno style, Yatsaka Magatama. The Susanoo fired off the black beads and burst the rhino into a sea of black flames. No pain. Animal Pain weaved more hand signs. Summoning jutsu. "Jirobo on me." Hawk commanded. "Right." Jirobo jumped next to Hawk. Both started weaving hand signs. Fire style, earth style. Dragon flame bombs, mud dragon bombs. The fire and earth dragons combine and unleash a blazing hot rock at the summons, melting them to a puddle. "You know nothing of what a god can do," Animal Pain said. "I've seen gods and you're nothing like them." Hawk countered, then looked at Jirobo. Pincer formation. Right. Sasuke and Jirobo charged and unleashed a barrage of blows, but eventually Animal Pain placed her hand on Jirobo. Summoning jutsu. Animal Pain called out and the drill-beaked bird ripped Jirobo to pieces. All fall before a god. Jirobo's corpse burst into black flames and was ash in mere seconds. Inferno style, flame control sword. Sasuke activated his Susanoo and the sword sliced Animal Pain and she burst into black flames and, like Jirobo, was ash in moments. "I'm going to back up Hokage-sama. Squads 4 and 5 stay behind and tend to the wounded." "By your command, Hawk Taicho," the umbu responded. Sasuke leapt off to where he sensed Naruto's unrestrained power. Sakan and Yukon were quickly overwhelming the Petra Pain and their tag team combo attacks only enhanced by their Rinnegan, but just before Sakan and Yukon could deliver the final blow, a wall of paper. "Now let's see how you do against 2. Conan's voice called out and she landed next to Petra Pain. Lightning style, electromagnetic murder. Sakan exhaled a blast of lightning. Petra Pain absorbed the attack and Conan counter with hand signs of her own. Wind style, vacuum devastation. Conan exhaled a blast of wind and Sakan and Yukon slammed their palm on the ground. Summoning jutsu, Rashomon. A contract sign appeared on the ground, and a red demonic gate appeared and intercepted the wind blast, not even putting a scratch on it. Sakan and Yukon split up and charged their own opponent. Yukon had an easy time as he was able to beat Petra Pain to a pulp almost effortlessly. Sakan however had a harder time. Conan was well skilled in both nin and taijutsu and it was hard to land a blow. However, with the appearance of Conan the tide of battle quickly shifted to Pain's favor as they both knew how to counter Sakan and Yukon's path ability, and even their Kekii Genkai didn't work on the foes they faced. After a while the two warriors were overwhelmed and they too, like Jirobo and Kadamaru, fell to Pain. Naruto stood there, arms crossed, and Sharingan activated his power in its prime. "You really think you'll get away with what you're planning?" Naruto asked impassively. "Of course I can, and I will. No one can defeat a god. Funny, it seems that I have defeated 3 gods, and while 3 of my paths have fallen, I am far more powerful than even Madara, Uchiha and Hashirama Senju themselves. To me those 2 legendary shinobi are nothing but cannon fodder." "Dick," Madara said. "I know that hurts Sensei, but it's kinda true, and plus I wanted to fill Nagato with despair." "Okay, as much as I hate to admit, I think you're even more powerful than Hagoromo or even Kagaya." "Kagaya? Who's Kagaya?" "Kagaya is the sage's mother. She is said to be the founder of all chakra." "Whoa." Naruto looked at Pain and without another word Naruto charged and swung his gunbai, but Pain thrust his hand out. Almighty push. Naruto's gunbai was blasted out of his hand, but Naruto channeled chakra to his feet and was able to stand fast and countered with a punch and clocked Pain square in the jaw, and Pain was sent flying off backwards, and Naruto dashed over to his gunbai and grabbed it and swung the war fan. Wind style. Cyclone wind wall. Naruto's swing fired off a huge tornado of wind at Pain, and Pain started levitating. Almighty push. This time Pain channeled more chakra into the attack, blowing up several buildings and dispelling the wind tornado. Baka. Naruto made the snake hand sign. Sage art, wood style. Thousand hand barrage. At Naruto's command several wooden fists formed at his back, and Naruto closed the distance in a millisecond, and the barrage of fists punched Pain, and when the barrage finished Naruto kicked Pain's arm, shattering the chakra receivers in his left arm, thus making it immobile. Such power, Pain thought as he took out some rods from his sleeve and broke some off, then inserted them into the shattered arm slots and regained mobility in his arm. Suddenly 3 shinobi landed next to Naruto. First was Taiyuya, the second was Kimimaro, and the third was Sasuke. Just as fast 2 shinobi landed next Pain. They were Petra and Human Path. Rinnegan glowing, and Pain smirked but was slightly put off by the fact that only 2 of his paths had survived the encounter with Naruto's paths. Naruto smiled, his eyes spinning into his eternal Mangekyo. You think you are a god, Pain? Naruto closed his eyes, and when they opened them, revealing his Rinnegan. I will show you true divine power. Naruto looked at Kimimaro and then at Taiyuya. Taiyuya, take the path on the right. If what I saw through Kadamaru's eyes is correct, then he's Human Path and long-range combat is your bread and butter. Kimimaro, you take the path on the right, which is probably Petra. Sasuke, you're with me. We're taking down Pain in front of us. This one is Deva. His realm of power is repulsion and attraction, so keep chakra flowing to your feet at all times. By your command, Hokage-sama, Rikuto-sama, Naruto-sama. Sasuke, Taiyuya and Kimimaro responded. And remember, if one sees you, they all see you. Kimimaro charged Petra, his bones forming a bone plate armor around himself. Taiyuya charged Human Path after slamming her palm on the ground, summoning a 3-headed dog with Rinnegan eyes. Naruto looked at Pain and Sasuke, and Naruto started to charge when they suddenly heard, "Hang on," a third voice called out, and Hinata landed next to Naruto. If you and Sasuke are fighting Pain, then so am I. Hinata said, her voice strong and determined. Team 7, let's move out. Suddenly Hinata's eyes changed from their regular Byakugan to a blue-colored one with a blue and white flower-like iris. Naruto recognized his eye from Hagoromo's memories. Tenseigan. Naruto whispered, shocked. Tenseigan? Hinata and Sasuke and even Pain asked, confused. These are the eyes that were wielded by the sage's brother Hamura, but according to what I know from Hagoromo's memories, this eye can only be achieved by a mixture of a Hyuga and a descendant of the Otsutsuki clan. So that's what these eyes are called, Hinata said. Naruto spun shocked and looked at her, utterly confused. You've seen them before? Yeah, I unlocked them almost 2 years ago. Naruto's eyes widened in shock. The same time I unlocked the Sharingan, completing my ascension to the level of the Sage of the 6 Paths. So your girlfriend has a pair of eyes, but they are nowhere near as powerful as my Rinnegan. Pain scoffed. Quite to the contrary, the Hagoromo and Hamura were on equal levels. One was never stronger than the other until Hagoromo sealed the Jubi within himself. Oh, well, I'm right, well fuck aren't I? Hinata vanished and reappeared right in front of Pain, right in the down under. Hinata started unleashing a barrage of Juken strikes, and Pain jumped back only for Sasuke to appear above him and inhale sharply. Fire style, Dragon Flame Jutsu. Sasuke exhaled a huge blast of fire, however Pain held out his hands. Almighty push, the fire wave bounced harmlessly off the field of gravity and Sasuke was sent flying. Naruto saw his opportunity and charged in and punched Pain in the chest, and he went flying back and crashed through the house. Drown in despair. This is the power of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. Divine power. Naruto clenched his fist. If he wasn't 100% right, I'd call him a fucking egomaniac. Sasuke's sweat dropped. Kimimaro faced his foe and ripped out his spine with his left hand, and with his right hand he formed a gigantic bone drill. Dance of Clematis. Vine. So this is the power of the Kagaya clan. Petra Path scoffed. Dance of Clematis. Flower. Kimimaro charged in and pumped his bones full of wind chakra to increase cutting power, and Petra dodged only for Kimimaro to jump into the air and kicked him and sliced at him with his rib cage and shoulder blades also enhanced with wind chakra. Kimimaro sliced and hacked and cut, but Petra still managed to stay in one piece, but when he landed Kimimaro slammed his palms on the ground. Bracken Dance, Bone Forest. The trees of bone sliced through Petra with ease, and in a few seconds Petra path was destroyed. Kimimaro relished in his victory, however 1 second later a hand placed itself on Kimimaro. Human path. Kimimaro dropped to the, with that it's time for me to capture the 9 tails. However, a bone was stuck in his hand and the dead man's seal burst them both into black flames. Naruto, Sasuke, and Hinata had formed a triangle around Pain. The 3 legendary dojutsu united in one location. This is certainly an honor. Yeah, it's honestly a rare opportunity to be crushed by the 3 greatest power in the shinobi world. Hinata charged while Naruto fired off a wood dragon and Sasuke sifted his left eye to the eternal Mangekyo. Amaterasu, the black flames jettisoned towards Pain. Enough. Pain growled. Almighty push. Pain channeled a huge amount of chakra blasting the village to pieces, creating a huge crater. Naruto looked around and saw the devastation of what was once his home. He also saw a large amount of Katsuyu clones and breathed a sigh of relief. The villagers were safe. He then looked at Sasuke, who was holding an unconscious Hinata, and, to Naruto's horror, Sasuke's left eye was white, indicating the use of Izanagi. Sasuke, you idiot, you're lucky I know how to restore sight using my Rinnegan, but Izanagi was incredibly risky. That's when Sasuke said it. I had to, my Susanoo shielded myself, but Hinata wasn't able to get out of the blast radius in time. She died, but I used Izanagi to save her. At these words Naruto froze, then his chakra turned cold and Sasuke started fear for his life and Pain froze in horror. Sasuke, Naruto said, turning away from Sasuke to look at Pain. Get everyone out of the village, then get out of here, get as far away from the village as possible. I'm not leaving you to fight this guy alone. Naruto turned his head, his Rinnegan slit, indicating his anger. Do as I say right now, before I lose what little sense of reason I have left. Why yes sir, Sasuke leapt of and started gathering the villagers and ordered a mass evacuation. Naruto turned his head to look at Pain. Pain, you've made a terrible mistake. Naruto said coldly. You have threatened my precious people, my village, my home, but worst of all you nearly killed Hinata-chan. I will show you true terror. Naruto slammed his palm on the ground and his next words froze Pain in place. Go, 9 tails. In flash of smoke the dark power of Kurama flooded air. So you can summon the 9 tails, impressive. Pain said, sweating profusely. I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead. I'm screwed, but that's not all I can do. Naruto's eternal Mangekyo flared and the Susanoo coated Kurama in the armor and Pain's jaw dropped and Naruto smiled. Die. Naruto swung the sword of the Susanoo and Pain couldn't dodge it in time and was obliterated along with several mountains in the distance. Naruto then dispelled Kurama and the Susanoo and then channeled the powers of his Yin chakra and Yang chakra. The blue flame appeared in his left hand and the red in his right. Yin-Yang style. Currents of time. Reverse. Naruto slammed his palms together and slowly but surely the damage to the village was being repaired. Homes were standing back up and reconstructing themselves. The debris from the walls was reforming into the chunks of rock that they once were and repositioning themselves back where they belonged. After about 20 minutes the village was rebuilt and the red pigments faded from his eyes. So this is the power of the Rikudo Sennin. Sasuke's voice called out, shocked. Yeah, it is. Naruto turned to Sasuke. Come here. Sasuke walked forward and the King of Hell emerged and both of them walked into his mouth and a few minutes later came out good as new. Naruto looked at Sasuke. I'm going to go finish this. When I was in Sage mode I sensed out Nagato's location, now I'm going to go finish this. Stay here and defend the village. By your command, Hokage-sama. Naruto leapt off his Sharingan still ablaze. And you'd follow no matter what I said, Naruto said, sensing his uncle in pursuit. You got it, Mikuru said with a grin on his face. When Naruto arrived at the area where he felt Nagato's chakra he tore open the paper tree. Konan jumped in front of Nagato. Konan, get back. But Nagato, his uncle. It's alright. Naruto walked forward. I'm only here as a deterrent, Mikuru said, tossing out some light emitter seals before relaxing against the wall. Nagato. So we meet at last. Do you hate me? the object of your vengeance. Do you wish to exact your revenge? Nothing in this world would change even if you're killed Nagato, right? All it would be about self-satisfaction. If you can't find the answer to confront the hatred in this world, then you can do nothing but to do the just thing and sacrifice yourself for the peace which I am about to create. Nagato opened the stand he was standing in and fired out a black chakra rod, but Naruto grabbed it and channeled his rage, and Nagato froze up from the terror he felt. Nagato, what's wrong? Konan asked. I came to talk to you, but I wanted to confirm something. Confirm something? I wanted to confirm how I would feel standing in front of the man who almost killed my Hinata. And, I can't forgive you. I want to kill you so bad I can't stop shaking. Naruto charged up a lightning blade, and Konan jumped in front of Naruto's lightning blade intending to take it instead of Nagato, but Naruto stopped. But as much as I hate you, I can't bring myself to kill you because that would only bring more hatred into the world. My parents and Ero Sennin believed that there would come a day where there would be no hatred in the world. They passed on that feeling to me, and I continue to honor that vow. Still, it doesn't change the fact that you can't forgive me. Words of forgiveness come easy. Love doesn't. Yeah, you're right about that. Jiraiya Sensei's words reflect an idealism from an era long past. It is far removed from reality. Didn't you say that you would kill me and bring peace to the ninja world? Even if you seek vengeance for your own satisfaction, if that is your idea of justice, so be it. You're not a god. After witnessing this harsh reality, do you really still believe Jiraiya Sensei's still ramblings? When I found out you were Ero Sennin's student, I wanted to ask you one thing. What is it? How could Ero Sennin students turn out the way you did? I understand that you're not like the Akatsuki members who kill out of sheer enjoyment, but I don't know a thing about you guys. That's why, I want to hear your stories, then come up with an answer. Very well, we will tell you about our pain. Nagato pulled his hands out of the containers that he kept them in and began to bring his hands together, but Naruto stopped him. Hang on, Nagato. What? Nagato asked, confused. Combined two sets of Rinnegan can do what one alone cannot. Naruto grabbed the chakra rod he threw away earlier. But first let me help my kin. Nagato's eyes widened in shock. Hey Madara-sensei, you think you can help out with Nagato? Sure. Madara responded, both unleashing the power of their Rinnegan. Naruto flooded Nagato's body with his gold and silver chakra, and Nagato's body became less and less frail. The rods were pushed out of his body, his face became fuller, more healthy. His network was restored to its prime, his bones, muscles, and outer self became whole again and undamaged. The burns on his legs were healed. Let's do this, Nagato. Nagato leapt out the contraption he was once stuck in and landed next Naruto. Konan's jaw dropped. Here was the man she fell in love with, back in his prime, the bounds of his strength back to what they once were. Indeed, let's, my cousin. Nagato said as he smiled. Both then weaved the hand signs, Ram, then Snake, and as one the called out. Outer path, art of Rinne rebirth. The king of hell emerged and opened his maw and exhaled a huge amount of green light. The souls of the dead who were killed by the almighty push or by Pain's attack were getting up alive once more. Men, women and children were reunited. Husbands and wives hugged and kissed one another in glee. Nagato looked at Konan. Konan-chan, let's head back to Amigakure. Nagato said. Not happening. Naruto said. What do you mean? Nagato asked. You're coming to live with me, and I am not taking no for an answer. But we killed so many. Family is family, and I won't accept you being lost to your pain any longer. Suddenly Naruto sensed a large amount of darkness and his eyes narrowed. Konan, Nagato-ni-san, go back to the village. I need to take care of something. Naruto clapped his hands together. Creation of all things. Naruto created two Jounin outfits of the Hidden Leaf Village. By my right as Kage of the village hidden in the leaves, I name you both Jounin. Wear your uniform with honor. Both Nagato and Konoan smiled. By your command, Hokage-sama. Konan and Nagato leapt off toward the village, and Naruto sent a wood clone after them so no one would get suspicious. Naruto leapt towards the darkness he sensed, and when he arrived he recognized it. Zetsu, you damn bastard, get out here. Hello Ninetales, Zetsu emerged. Naruto placed his hand on Zetsu and, tell me everything. His Rinnegan flared and Zetsu started talking. My real mission for the Akatsuki is to bring back Madara, and when he seals the revived Jubi in himself and has both his Rinnegan eyes back, I am to stab him in the back and revive Kaguya-sama, and she will consume all chakra to return as the goddess of this world. Then in the name of peace I sentence you to death. Naruto formed a black orb in his hand and it transformed into a solid black katana about the length and a half of his arm. The guard was Sword of Divine Judgment. All over the world the Zetsus disintegrated into ash. Obito was sitting on the Geto statue when suddenly he looked down and the Zetsu that were growing below him were ashes that formed the kanji 4-9. Damn that Naruto Uzumaki. Obito roared and slammed his fist against the rock, crumpling the rock. Naruto looked to the horizon and then he leapt off toward the hidden leaf. Now that Nagato and Konan have left the Akatsuki, it's just Kisame and Obito. Naruto looked at the setting sun. Soon Obito, soon you will pay for your crimes and I will avenge my parents. The days that followed Pain's attack on the leaf were hectic, starting with Naruto resurrecting Itachi as per Mikuru and Mikoto's pleadings, then the arresting and assimilating of Danzo's rude Umbu. After a while Mikuru walks into the office with a deep yawn. "Excuse me, Lord Sixth," Mikuru said, covering his mouth. "Late night, uncle?" Naruto asked, not looking up from his paperwork. "Yeah, I was busy rounding up Danzo and his anti-Hiruzen supporters and subordinates with the strike team, which pretty much took up most of last night and a piece of the morning. His supporters, I have gathered in the council room at sword point with tape on their mouths. The subordinates are contained in the interrogation room with my special escape jutsu-proof restraints and chakra and nerve-numbing seals. Both are being monitored." "And Danzo?" Naruto asked. "The first admittance to the Kamui Max security prison, after we rendered him immobile via a paralytic sleep. We checked for anything he could use as a method of surprising us before applying the same method as for his subordinates." "Excellent, keep me posted," Naruto said. "Yes, Lord Sixth." Mikuru bowed and left. Naruto looked at the paperwork pile and made some shadow clones and sighed. "It's gonna be long night." Nagato, like Naruto's mother before him, wasn't well received at first, but after Naruto as Lord Sixth addressed them he steadily made friends in the village, though he has come to like his new village home especially for the ramen. He looks back on the fond memories of his home from the meeting of his friends, forming the Akatsuki to forge peace for the hidden rain and so on. But as he strolls through the village he cast his eyes on two kunoichi and a shinobi from the land of lightning strolling towards the Hokage's office tower. After a while a resounded crash echoed through the village and the villagers look up to the Kage tower to see a window shattered and huge amount of Ki was radiating from the building. "You better be careful in your accusations because it might be taken the wrong way, especially since the person you speak of is my teammate, friend, adoptive brother, and an Umbu officer." Naruto looks up from the split-in-two desk with a combination Sharingan and red slits in his eyes. "Because the next punches I throw will be to your skulls," Naruto says in a now demonic voice. Omoi was trembling in fear and Karui was struggling to stay conscious from the radiating power that was coming off Naruto in waves. Samui was gripping the chair so hard her knuckles were turning white. "WWE mean no DD disrespect HH Hokage-sama," Samui choked out. "Why yeah RRR Reikages sama JJJJ just I is FFF furious a at TH the KK kidnapping OO of HH's BBBB brother." Karui stuttered in pure terror. "Your Reikage has been barking up the wrong tree. Now I will not issue a declaration of war or demand compensation for this accusation. But the next time you come to me demanding the head of one of my shinobi you'd better get your facts straight first." And with that Naruto snapped his fingers and the Umbu escorted the Kyumo shinobi out of the village. Naruto leaned back in his chair and let out a huge sigh of exhaustion. Today was just not his day. All morning he's had to deal with complaint after complaint. The civilian council is still trying to undermine his authority and the shinobi council was trying to curb his rage by actually bring up matters of village security and plans to deal with the remains of the Akatsuki. No wonder my predecessors took up hobbies. Naruto spun around in his chair and looked at the pictures of his predecessors when there was a knock at the door and Naruto steeled himself for what every life decided to throw at him next. "Come in." Naruto spun again and he watched an Umbu with a weasel mask walked in. "Hokage-sama." Weasel bowed. "I have a message from the land of lightning." Weasel held out the scroll and Naruto looked it over and then his face hardened and all traces of exhaustion left it. Mikuru looked over his shoulder and quickly looked over along with his nephew. "It would seem that the Reikage has called a 5 Kage summit and I'm to bring 2 to serve as guards," Naruto says while setting the letter down. "It would be a pretty good idea. Don't want to scare the other Kage too much." Madara said, the 5 Kage summit, good times, good times. Hashirama said. Naruto looks over at Mikaru staring off into space, which happens to look like he's looking out the window. What's the matter, uncle? Naruto asked. I have an idea about who would be perfect for the role of Hokage guards. Mikaru said. Really? Who? Chill here, I'll be back in a, Mikaru said as he Hirashin out of the office. After a few minutes, Naruto was filling out some paperwork that Shizune brought in when Mikaru Hirashin back with Mikoto in tow. Mikoto is decked out in Uchiha clan armor with a gunbai on her back. Mikaru is decked out in Senju clan armor with a scroll hung like Jiraiya's scroll. Hey Naruto, I'm back. Madara, Kurama, do you see what I see? Because I think my eyes are playing tricks on me. Hashirama said, shocked. That depends, Hashirama, if what you're seeing is what looks to be us. Madara counters. Kurama says with a smirk. Symbolically, physically, spiritually, and everything in between, Naruto couldn't ask for better guards. Naturally, I mean, what better guards could be better than students of the co-founders of the Leaf? Hashirama says with a grin. Naruto smiled and rose to his feet, donning his Kage robes and hat, and placed his gunbai on his back and walked out of the office. Danzo had escaped his incarceration using Izanagi and gathered up a new group of root agents, and he was pacing his underground office thinking on how he was going to take out Naruto when Sai opened the door and bowed to Danzo. Danzo-sama, I have news. Sai reported. Speak. Naruto has left for a 5 Kage summit, and if you want to take him out, now would be the best time to do so. Organize a squad, we mobilize in 10 minutes. Yes, Danzo-sama. Sai left. Naruto was walking with his guard when he sensed a large army of darkness headed his way. Suddenly an army of root agents landed in front of them with Danzo at the front of. My apologies, Lord Sixth, it seems I miscalculated in my sweep. Mikaru said in his battle stance. Well, let's make this end quick, we've a meeting to make. And I've no doubt you can kill the old goat, but one thing, why deny Uchiha the pleasure of sending him? After all, correct me if I'm wrong, it was his idea the Uchiha get exterminated so that he could harvest their Sharingan, was it not? Mikaru said. Naruto charged Danzo gunbai and scythe in hand, battling Danzo, hacking and slashing. After a few minutes they separated. Naruto had a crazy look in his eyes. You're strong, Kyubi, but you can't beat me thanks to the power of my Izanagi. Danzo revealed his right arm was covered in Sharingan, and Naruto smiled and laughed. You think the Sharingan is any match for my Rinnegan? You're a fool. Naruto slammed his palm on the ground. Summoning Jutsu, Geto Mazo, the Jubi's husk rose up and Naruto jumped on top of the statue as his Rinnegan activated and he channeled the chakra into his eyes. Limbo, Border Jail, the 4 shadows surrounded Naruto, started charging Danzo, and they quickly overwhelmed him and pierced him with 4 kunai and chakra rods. Danzo vanished and reappeared in front of Naruto and punched at him, but Naruto spun and kicked Danzo in the head with a spinning heel kick. Danzo was sent flying, and then Naruto vanished and grabbed him and started spinning. Primary Lotus. Naruto sent Danzo crashing into the ground and snapped his neck. That's 3 eyes down, 7 to go. Naruto said. Then he jumped back as Danzo came into view with a kunai trying to stab Naruto. Fire style. Great fire destruction. Naruto exhaled a wave of fire which Danzo dodged only to run face first into Mikaru's claws, piercing his skull. Once again Danzo used Izanagi to avoid death, and he reappeared in front of the now group of 3 and demonic statue. Naruto's shadows returned to his body, but only he knew that Danzo bit his thumb and slammed his palm on the ground. Summoning Jutsu, Baku, in a flash of smoke, the Baku appeared. It is a gigantic elephantine chimera. It has tiger-like limbs and bandages wrapped all around its head similar to Danzo, and armor on the base of the trunk and between the eyes. It is predominantly dark orange in color with the exception of its trunk, legs and the markings around its eyes. Its feet are also striped, reminiscent of those of a tiger, and it also has huge tusks and what looks like a beard, as well as long, sharp claws. Oh, the Baku, the creature that devours nightmares, this will be interesting. Mikoto said, activating her eternal Mangekyo and summoned up her pink Susanoo. The Baku started inhaling to swallow the group as the suction, and Danzo jumped behind them and weaved hand signs. Wind style, vacuum bullets. Danzo exhaled a huge blast of wind, but Naruto spun around, absorbed the attack, while Mikoto made a horse hand seal. Fire style, great fire annihilation. Mikoto exhaled the wave of fire and the Baku absorbed the fire wave and had to dispel, and Naruto backhanded Naruto with his own Susanoo, killing him again. As Danzo reappeared, Fu and Toryun appeared next to him. Naruto smiled a sick smile, looked at his foes. "We've already killed you 5 times, Danzo, 6 more and you're gone for good." Naruto channeled his chakra. Amaterasu. Danzo was instantly alight with the black flames and was forced to use Izanagi to save himself. Mikuru moved quickly and decapitated both Fu and Toryun before either could react. Danzo struck at Mikuru, but Mikoto's Susanoo punched him, snapping his neck, killing him. Once again Danzo used Izanagi to save himself and he reappeared, and the team of 3 charged Danzo and started attacking him. Danzo found himself at a complete disadvantage as every strike he dodged left him open to 2 more. In no time at all the group had reduced Danzo down to 1 eye on his arm and his chakra was dangerously low. Naruto dashed forward and ripped out Shirsue's other eye and kicked Danzo away into Mikoto, who cut his head off. Danzo reappeared in front of the others, a horrified look on his face as the last eye closed. "If you've any last words, now would be an excellent time. Though I may die, I know my roots will live on." "Not so smug now, are you, counselor?" Mikuru said as he makes the clone symbol, makes a shadow clone who then follows up with a volley of Hirashin Kunai. After dispelling, Mikoto extends a fist to his side. "Here we go, Mikuru." "Right," Mikuru said as he bumped her fist. The instant they bumped they were gone and went to town, batting Danzo around with the Rasengan for the hour to follow, which formed a much bigger Rasengan, after which hit the ground. Mikuru then went about to cast Deep Forest Emergence on Danzo, which grabbed Danzo and carried him up, while Mikoto's Great Fire Annihilation set that forest on fire. "Oh come on, is that all you got?" Mikuru said as though he were egging her on while upping the power of his jutsu, which covered the fire she made. "Please," Mikoto said in an "I haven't begun" tone as she upped the power of her jutsu, which not only covers the Mikuru's forest in flame but it also creates a smaller boom than before. Danzo now was battered, bruised, burned and broken in numerous places up and down his body. "Your roots live on." "Yeah right, which shows what you know. When roots die, new roots will grow to take the place of said roots," Naruto said as he walked up to the crispy veggie counselor and used Human Path to finish him off. After a moment Naruto creates 2 shadow clones. He instructs one to share what had transpired with Tsunade and Kakashi. Then Naruto instructed the other to get Danzo's body to the morgue for later disposal. Naruto turned to his entourage with a smile on his face. "Well, shall we continue off to the 5 Kage summit?" "Hi Hokage-sama," Mikuru and Mikoto said simultaneously. Naruto and the other Kage sat around the table with Mifune at the head of the table. "Now that the 5 Kage have assembled, let us open discussion with the Raikage who called this summit," Mifune said. I stands up and points an accusatory finger at Naruto, rage etched in his face. "You've got some nerve, Hokage," I shouted. "You had your shinobi attack the hidden cloud and kidnap my brother, and not only do you refuse to send an apology, you dare sit there like you've done nothing wrong." Naruto was twitching with every word the Raikage was saying as his rage building. "I demand you hand over my brother and pay reparations for this offense, or it will mean war." Mei, Gaara and Anoki looked at I and Naruto each with their own train of thought. "Is he nuts?" Gaara thought as he remembered when he saw Naruto's full power. "How will this brat respond to these accusations, I wonder?" Anoki thought. "Now it's time to see what he does as a village leader. Time to see how things play out." Mei thought. Naruto closed his eyes and inhaled and slowly got to his feet. "You threaten my people with war," Naruto said evenly. "You stand here and accuse me of attempted theft of a tailed beast and Jinchuriki when I myself know the abuse and loneliness of being a Jinchuriki." Naruto opened his eyes, a cold look in them. "I have faced countless pains in my life, and I can assure you that, despite how my village treated me when I was younger, I will defend them with my life, and anyone who threatened those precious to me will be annihilated." Naruto growled, his raw power radiating off him in waves. "I can assure you that whatever power you think Madara and Hashirama had is nothing compared to me. If you multiplied their combined power by 100, you wouldn't have anywhere near my full power. So if you think I will back down if threatened with war, think again." Naruto sat back down, a stone-cold look of impassiveness now etched on his features. I was sweating with fear as he knew of the powers of the 2 legendary shinobi, and if what Naruto say was true, then it would only end badly for Ice Village to engage Naruto's in any way, shape or form. Now we are here because of the true threat to the shinobi world, the Akatsuki and Project Tsuki no Mi, a heinous plan devised by the mind of a madman. Just then a voice echoed out throughout the entire room. A madman am I? And in a swirl of space appeared, and then Obito appeared in his battle armor and a gunbai strapped to his back. To Naruto's shock, his left eye was a Rinnegan. How does he have a Rinnegan? Madara shouted, shocked. As I recall, I gave Izuna's eyes to Nagato, the 6 paths of pain's corpses. Naruto cursed. I didn't destroy all of them, he must have got them off them. How could I be so careless? Naruto cursed his stupidity. What do you want? Kankuro shouted. Obito didn't answer him and just stood there. Then suddenly a blast of chakra and Ki and Naruto stepped forward, his Rinnegan activated. Such chakra, is this what Madara-sama was like in his prime? Obito thought as he sweat under his mask. Answer him. Naruto growled. So this is you at your max? I'm not impressed. Not even close, this is me at about 35%. Naruto scoffed. Now answer the question. Naruto vanished and placed a hand on Obito's shoulder, then he whispered in his ear. Or I will Uchiha Obito. How do you know that name? I have my sources. Naruto jumped back down and looked at Obito impassively. What are you planning? Mifune said. What in the world is this Project Tsuki no Mi, and what do you want? I want to explain this thoroughly, so let me sit down for a bit. You heard him. Naruto said. Speak. Naruto unleashed another blast of chakra. Everything will become one with me, a complete being where all is unified. The other Kage's eyes widened, save Naruto, who already knew this. Become one? All unified? Anoki asked. What does that mean? The Uchiha have a stone tablet that has been passed down for generations. It still exists under Konoha. On it, a secret that was written by the sage of the 6 paths ages ago. To be able to read it, you need a special ocular power. By using the Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan and the Rinnegan, in that order, you can decipher it. Now your story just got more unbelievable, like about the sage of the 6 paths. This is the truth. He existed, and he left behind a stone tables. That's enough, I shouted. What does your plan and the sage of the 6 paths have to do with each other? Well, do you know why he became a legend and is regarded as a god among shinobi? That is where you can find the connection between him and my plan. You possesses the Mangekyo Sharingan, and there was a member of the Akatsuki with the Rinnegan. You know everything, don't you? Mei spoke up. Let's hear it. Well, you know that the sage of the 6 paths was revered as a god, and why was that? Because he was their savior. He saved this world from a certain monster. Gaara, you once held merely one piece of that monster sealed within you. He was the aggregate of all the tailed beasts, an existence that possessed almost infinite chakra. Its name was the Jubi. Everyone but Naruto regaled back in shock. Jubi, I said, shocked. Though the tailed beasts went only up to the Kyubi. No, they are the result of the Jubi's chakra being split up into 9 parts by the sage of the 6 paths. I don't like where this is heading. So this is why you were collecting tailed beasts? Anoki said. The sage of the 6 paths developed a certain ninjutsu in order to protect the world from the Jubi. I'm sure you're all familiar with it, the sealing system of Jinchuriki. That was it. With the sealing jutsu, the sage of the 6 paths shut the Jubi inside himself. Inside himself, Mei said. You mean? Exactly, the sage of the 6 paths was the Jubi Jinchuriki. The sage of the 6 paths, a Jinchuriki. I understand you're gathering the tailed beasts to acquire the power of this Jubi, Mifune said. But what are you planning to do with that power? Revive the Jubi and become its Jinchuriki. I would then use that power to multiply my ocular prowess and launch a certain jutsu. A certain jutsu? Anoki said. What jutsu? Just what are you plotting? A super genjutsu where I project my eye off the moon's surface, an infinite Tsukuyomi, all humans living on this earth under my genjutsu. By controlling them all, I shall unify the world. And here's the big reveal. Naruto thought, rolling his eyes. I will create a war with no bad blood, no wars, a world of peace, a world of love, everything will be united. That is Project Tsuki no Mi. That's insane, I shouted. For the first time all day I agree with the Raikage, Naruto said. I glared at Naruto, but Naruto scoffed. Then I turned back to Obito. I'm not handing over the world to you. Peace that exists as only as illusion is just that, illusion. Peace is only meaningful when it is truly achieved. There is no hope in this world as it is now. Don't you 5 Kage know that best of all? To hope is equivalent to giving up and is the biggest deception of all. Then you are only deceiving yourself that this will work because you and I both know that I hold all the cards. Naruto said, the Nibi, Kyubi and, last I checked, Hachibi are out of your reach. How so? I have already gathered most of the tailed beasts. Things are already moving according to my wishes. I haven't even begun to show my full power. I am this world's equivalent of the sage already, and all I am missing is what you desire, the Jubi. You don't scare me, Kyubi. Naruto got a sick smiled. Oh, but I do, I terrify you. Anyway, just hand over the Nibi, Hachibi and Kyubi. Cooperate or it's war. The Hachibi? Did you say the Hachibi? What do you mean? You took B. Oh, now you see reason. Naruto muttered. The Hachibi's capture failed and he escaped. That reminds me. Naruto stepped forward. How did you get Sasuke to do your dirty work? I know for a fact that you've never approached him. I think you're familiar with Orochimaru and the Rabi. The Rabi? The fuck's the Rabi? Ah, great, that project. Where is its ugly head? Mikaru said as he recalled the last time the Sky Country waged war. Oh ho ho, so you don't know about him. Well, I'll keep things short. The Rabi is a malevolent spirit, created by the dark thoughts and feelings of the downtrodden people, sealed within the land of the sky. I used all its power and Orochimaru's notes to create a dark clone of Sasuke with Mangekyo and all. Oh, that remind me. Hand over Itachi Uchiha's corpse. I know you have it. Better idea. Naruto smiled, but the warmth of the smile didn't reach his eyes. Go fuck yourself. Such insolence. Obito went charge but then saw Naruto's smirk and composed himself. Anyway, the Hachibi Jinchuriki is a shinobi who is perfect Jinchuriki material, and he lives up to being your little brother. RAGH, that fool. So he used this opportunity to get out of the village and play hooky? So what will you do? I'm waiting for your answer. I think I speak for all the Kage when I say this. Naruto said as he gripped his gun by. Shove it. I may not have strength, but I do have the powers of tailed beasts. You have no chance of winning. Oh, so where was that power when we fought earlier? Naruto smirked. You've let the power of the Rinnegan get to your head. You've become arrogant. Ain't arrogance if I can back it up. So I reiterate, shove it. Heh, very well, then I hereby declare war on you all, the fourth great ninja war. With what? Naruto laughed. Your foot, cause that's all gonna be left of you in a second. Naruto charged in blinding speeds and punched Obito in the face. How? Obito thought, then he got punched through the wall. Naruto went to deliver the final blow, but Obito vanished in a swirl of his eye with the echoing message of, we will next meet on the battlefield. So what do we do now? Anoki asked. Form a ninja alliance. Naruto said, it's the only way to counter 6-tailed beasts. I also feel we have no other option. Mei said, what about you, Lord Raikage? Mifune asked, seems my little brother is still alive. I apologize for my earlier accusation, Hokage-sama. Water under the bridge. Naruto waved a hand. With Yujito-chan, B and I still with tailed beasts still locked up inside us, we need to go to a location where the three of us can keep an eye on each other, but at the same time, I didn't take you for the kind of man to jump away from a fight, Naruto. Gaara said. Naruto sat on the desk, his gun by on his lap. Ordinarily I'm not, but these aren't ordinary circumstances. What do you mean? Anoki asked. If the enemy gets even a fraction of the chakra of each of the remaining tailed beasts, then they can resurrect the Jubi. The entire tailed beast is not necessary, but to someone like our foe, the whole beast is preferred. I know of a place that the three of you could hide away from the enemy. I said. Where? Gaara asked. An island known only to a select few in Kumo's upper society. Naruto's eyes widened. Of course, not even the Akatsuki knows of that island's existence. Naruto said, when I head back to the village I will gather Yujito-chan and prepare my village for war. I will be sending Tsunade in my place to represent Konoha, and as show of good faith I elect that the grand leader of the Shinobi Alliance to be the Raikage. Naruto looked at his fellow Kage. But please don't turn this into a contest of, I vote for myself. I know that the final decision is made by Mifune-sama, but I feel it in the best interest of the Shinobi world that we reach a decision soon. Naruto looked at his fellow Kage. The others looked at Mifune and then back at Naruto. My vote lands with the Raikage as well. Gaara said. Naruto and I don't have the experience of leading armies, but you three do. I think the Raikage is a sensible choice. I'm not as young as I used to be, Anoki said, then he turned to Mei and Mifune. What do you two think? I'll cast my vote with the Raikage as well, Mei said. Same here. Mifune added. Then it's unanimous, the Raikage will lead the Shinobi Alliance. Each of you should return to your villages and get them ready for war. Right, the 5 Kage said together. Naruto sat in the council chambers, a somber look on his face. The Shinobi Council sat before him. Alright, now that we are all here, let's begin. Naruto said. Hold it. Hamura said. What is it? Naruto said, exasperated. We can't make any decision until the Civilian Council and Danzo arrives. Well then I guess we're gonna be stuck here forever. What? Yeah, Danzo's dead. What? Koharu shouted. He tried to kill me, and yeah, that didn't go well at all. Just then the door bursts open, revealing the very pissed off Civilian Council. Naruto. Mabuki screeches, much everyone's displeasure. What? Naruto asks, looking exasperated. We have been looking all over for you, and we have been looking for you, and when we talk to your secretary she tells you are in a council meeting that we weren't informed about. What is the meaning this? Yeah, you've been disbanded. You can't do that. I believe I just did. Anbu. Several Umbu appeared. Yes, Hokage-sama, Sasuke asked behind his mask. Escort the formal Civilian Council out of the room while I finish with the Shinobi Council. Yes, sir. After that the Civilian Council was escorted out of the room. Naruto's look turned deadly serious. My fellow Shinobi Kunoichi have some bad news. We're at war with the Akatsuki. As this is a war for the tailed beasts, Yujito nor I can join you on the front lines unless absolutely necessary. The Raikage has graciously allowed us to stay at an undisclosed location until such time as we are needed for the war effort or the Akatsuki defeated. Naruto gripped his gunbai and unleashed his chakra. At dawn we march. This war is for our friends, our families, and the Shinobi world. Hi Hokage-sama. The clan heads echoed as one. Naruto, Yujito, Haku, Ino and Hinata all stood at the entrance to the Turtle Island, their eyes all brimming with tears. I will see you when we've won this war, Naruto said. Then he kissed Haku, Ino and Hinata, then he looked at each of them. Good luck and be safe, all of you. We will, Naruto-kun. Hinata, Haku and Ino said, then they boarded the boat and returned to the mainland. Yujito looked at Naruto, then back at the Hachibi statue before them. It's been a while since I've been here. Yeah. Yujito said. Then she saw Naruto's worried look, then she kissed him on the cheek. Don't worry Naruto-kun, they'll be safe. I know, but I can't help but worry. Yo lovebirds. A third voice called out. Both Yujito and Naruto looked up and saw Killer Bee with, to Naruto's shock, Samahata on his back. What's the word, you two? Killer Bee leapt down. Killer Bee-sama. Yujito hugged her older brother figure. When they separated, Naruto and Bee bumped fists. Now we wait, Naruto said. Then he looked at the sky, he closed his eyes and took a deep breath, and as he did he felt the darkness that could only be found on the battlefield. Rage. So the fourth great ninja war has begun, Madara said. And we're just on the sidelines, Hashirama said. It's kinda sad, isn't Hashirama? We, the strongest shinobi of our time, reduced to mere spectators. Well, hopefully we'll get to fight. Oh, we will, Naruto said as he clenched his fist. Obito will try and lure us out, and when he does, he will die, Kurama said. That's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on my other social media accounts. Anime God here, and I'm signing off.